Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and today I'm in a car because I'm driving up to San Francisco to hunt down and chase a vaccine, see if I can get it before I go back to Germany. So I had some thoughts and was wondering kind of like some stuff to share about being pretty and being trans. And, I wouldn't say that I'm the prettiest of all the trans girls out there. I mean, like, there's always an upper limit. But I do get compliments and wanted to share these thoughts on what it means to be a trans girl, especially in a world where beauty is so valued in social media. It's a strange concept that one's appearance affects their authority and their ability to be persuasive. I mean, I guess it makes sense that if you're attracted to someone, you're going to like them more, right? But if their value is attached to their appearance, then suddenly you have pretty trans girls giving advice that may not be that good, or you have them not even really being listened to. Have you ever seen comments where it says, "Oh, you're just so pretty," or "I would date you"? And while that is a compliment on the surface, I think it speaks to a deeper problem that all trans women face, because it has the effect of doing two things. The first thing is it reduces the person to their appearances, and the second thing is it says the person that's worth celebrating is the trans woman that passes and looks so good that I like her, or what have you. And that kind of adds on to this third point, which is the worst part, which is if you're not a beautiful trans woman and you're a non-passing trans woman, you are now devalued because you don't pass and that you don't meet a certain kind of criteria in terms of how you look. So, this is kind of like a very touchy subject, I think, for a lot of trans women, directly and indirectly. The indirect part being this thing that we have to constantly be aspiring to be considered valid or to be considered authoritative, that we must look a certain way, we must look really good. Where are you in your transition, and how do you see your appearance and beauty in your identity and how you step into the world and how you're treated? How much do you value it? How much do you seek it out? I look at a lot of trans women on social media, and they can basically be put into two categories. The most popular ones are the ones that just look gorgeous. Like, you think of the really famous ones like Nikita Dragun. Like, Nikita Dragun has millions of followers. What does she provide to society? What does she bring to the table? She has beauty, and she has beauty products. And she only has beauty products because she has beauty. All her followers follow her because of that she's beautiful. I wouldn't make an argument for Nikita Dragun kind of like blowing my mind with her philosophy about the world, or how to overcome certain challenges, or anything in particular that has a lot of substance to it. Not to say that she isn't without her substance, because I think she is with her substance and she's very real. And I think that is an important thing to kind of, camera kind of falling. I think that is an important thing to acknowledge. But the point that I'm trying to get at is she's like one of the most popular and well-known trans women in our culture. And who is she and what does she do? Like, there are very few examples of trans women that are not beautiful and not celebrated for their beauty. In the other camp, you have the activists, and you have, like, that seems to be the only avenue that a trans woman can go down and become popular, for being a trans advocate. And even then, it has its own limitations. There are very few trans women that I can think of that are popular and perceived for the value that they bring to the table other than their appearances. And one of those people is, say, ContraPoints. But even ContraPoints, she's focused so much on her aesthetics and beauty and how she appears. I don't know if she would have as much popularity as she does without her own appearances. And so, why I want to call this out is because I think most trans women don't meet the high 10 beauty, 10 out of 10 beauty standards that the social media world portrays and creates this sense of normality around it, and normalizes the behavior of celebrating beauty as a trans woman, and that's basically all you celebrate. Whenever I post, I get comments that are like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or "I would date you," and etc., etc. And I'm not trying to share. Look, I don't wear makeup today. I'm wearing chapstick that happens to have some red in it. All right, and I don't even own that. That's just my friend Franny over here, who's because I don't have chapstick. She's got the chapstick, and so like people even have commented about this, like, why, Ashley, why don't you wear makeup? Why don't you beautify yourself? I don't get it, because all the other YouTubers always wear makeup and put on their best looking stuff. And yeah, I get, like, that's perhaps, I get the sentiment. You want me to be more popular, you want me to stand out more, or you want me to just look good. I'm sorry if I look bad. But I purposely don't wear makeup and look a certain aesthetic because I don't want to make this about my appearances. I don't want to make this about what I look like. I want to make this about what I'm trying to give you beyond my appearances. I want you to see beyond the visuals. There's content here. There's something much deeper of a message. And I want to kind of reflect that back to you, to think about where you stand in your sense of beauty, your perception of beauty, and where you get that from. Where are you drawing your own value based on your appearances versus your substance? This is a really interesting topic also because it touches on a larger topic, which is, where do women stand in their own value of society? Oh my God, the sun. Where do they stand in their own value in society, and how are they measured based on anything beyond their appearances? Now, I'd say there's a lot more cis women that are valued beyond what they appear as. Like, I think Sheryl Sandberg is a great example of that. But as a trans woman, you're kind of faced with this two-sided or double problem, really. It's, you first have to fight the uphill battle of being perceived as a man and then trying to just be perceived as a woman. And then you have that second hill to climb, which is, now that you're perceived as a woman, if you can even make it that far, now you have to be a good-looking woman, right? So, I don't know, it frustrates me. Where do you stand on this? Like, where do you see yourself finding your own balance, and what role does beauty play in your life versus the value that you just want to bring into the world and be seen for? Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you soon in San Francisco. Bye, darlings.